Hello, fellow YPS viewers. This is Yannick Chauvin for Yannick's Photo School, and today we're going to be looking at aspect ratio for printing. Now, above this video, I explain in the article how aspect ratio works, actually what it is and how it works, so that you can understand what you're doing in Photoshop. And in part 2, in this video, I actually show you how to do it in Photoshop. I'll be showing you two ways of doing it. One's a little bit longer, not that much, but just a little bit longer, that I've been using for a long time, and I've recently started using the crop tool and figured out that it was pretty much the same thing. So let's go ahead and start with the marquee tool. So by selecting the marquee tool here on your toolbar, the sub-menu appears on top here, as you can see. Now, what's important first of all is that your feather is at 0. You really want to make sure that you have 0 feathering on your selection. After that, the style is very important. By default, you'll probably be at normal, which gives you the opportunity to move your selection any width and height that you want. But what we want is a fixed aspect ratio. Actually, it's fixed ratio, same thing. And you basically plug in your aspect ratio here in width and height. Now, you can put in, if you know them by heart, by the 1, I know that 5 by 7 is 1.4 by 1. And if I do my selection, you'll see here the space that will be cropped out. Now, if you don't know them by heart, you can just simply put 7 and 5, or any image size that you're going to be printing, whether it's 4 by 6 or 8 by 10. You can just plug that in, and you don't need to remember all the aspect ratios. Just put in the size of that image and then select, and as you can see, it's the same space here that will be cropped out. Now, if that's not the spot that you want cropped out, or you want this centered, all you need to do is click on inside your selection, then hold the Shift key down, and then just move it from left to right. You can also use the arrow keys if you want to do that way. And once you have your selection, what you can do is go into your Edit menu and click Copy, or for the shortcut keys, Control-C. And then for a new document, you can go into File, New, or Control-N for New, click OK, and Control-V to paste, or go back into your Edit menu and select Paste. Now that we have that done, we have our image cropped and ready to send to the printer. Whether you send it online or put it on a USB drive or back on your card to bring it to the printer, either way, you'll have an aspect ratio that you chose. And that's what's really, really, really important. All right, that's the first way of doing it. I'll show you the second way now. I'll close that, bring back our image. And the second way is with the crop tool. Selecting that, the sub-menu appears here, the crop menu appears. And contrary to the marquee tool, it doesn't really work in aspect ratio. It works in exact image size. So let's say you want to print some 5 by 7s. You would put in here 7, like it's already there, and 5. And here you have the option or not to put the resolution. I never put the resolution because I want it to stay at the exact same amount of pixels. Let me just go ahead with my crop selection. And as you can see, it removes the same amount as with the marquee tool because it's the same aspect ratio. Again, you can use your arrow keys to move back and forth, or click and shift to recrop your image, and once that's done, double click inside your selection and the crop will happen. And you have the exact same crop as used with the marquee tool. Now the slight difference, if I go into image and then select image size, what the marquee tool did was it kept the original resolution to 300 pixels per square inch, which made the file basically 9 point something by 6 point something inches at 300 pixels per square inch. Now, The pixels don't change though here. It's still the same size as with the Marquee tool, 2800 by 2000, and that's what's important. You don't want to lose any pixels even though you're printing small. I just prefer to keep my files, because if later on you want to go print it bigger, you can have that file saved somewhere and say these are all my files with this aspect ratio, and you know that you can print them bigger after. That's the thing with the resolution. If you say, well, I want a 5 by 7, and I know that the printer prints it in 150 dots per square inch, I'll just put in 150, do my crop again. Oops, wait a minute, I changed the selection here. Let me start over. 150 pixels per square inch. There we go. Put my selection, double click. You see how it shrunk contrary to before? And if I look at my image size, my pixels shrunk. I really have an original 5 by 7 at 150 pixels per square inch. That's not bad if you know you won't be printing bigger, or if you kept your original file. This will put the image size will be smaller, and you'll be able to put more on your card or on your USB drive, and that's probably the only advantage that I see there. I would personally never do that. Alright, now let me bring back the original image, and I just showed you 2 ways to get the correct aspect ratio for printing your photos and having total control of exactly where everything is cropped. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is Yannick Chauvin signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.